Good morning. It's time for another episode of It's Not About You. My name is Bob Benson. I pastor Christ Lutheran Church. We've been talking about how we need to shift our focus, okay? And that's what I'm calling it today. We need to shift our focus from self-centeredness to others. That's what It's Not About You is all about. We need to emphasize contributions that we can make to others, empathy towards others, and recognizing situations and problems, and especially other people's problems and their situations. It's easy for us to get concentrated on our own problems. They're what we know best. It's harder to concentrate on other people's problems. We need to personally encourage other people. We need to have this broader perspective of the kingdom. I am not the center of the kingdom, and I know that. How can I make others feel like they're the center of the kingdom? How can I make it about them and not about me? And really, when we do that, we make it all about Jesus. We make it all about the empathy and the compassion that he had on people around him. He had all the power in the world, never used any of that power to benefit himself. That's what it means to be a Christian. If it's in my power to make somebody else's life better, I'm supposed to do that. Now, we don't buy into the lies of this world. We don't buy into the gender dysphoria lie. We won't play into that. But we tell them the truth in love, and we engage with them like Jesus engaged with them. Yeah, we can engage with them, and we can tell them, look, you're dabbling in sin. And Jesus always told people, go and sin no more. We have to get to that point where we love people enough that we're concerned about where they're going to spend their eternity. We need to encourage them. We need to get a broader perspective. We need to be all about service. How do we serve each other within the kingdom and outside of the kingdom? Do we go to length of letting go of their individual issues and ministering to them, even in the midst of it? It's a reminder for us personally to grow, to be leaders, to building meaningful connections by focusing on serving others. See, we have to stop personalizing. Someone's preference, their mood, or their problem isn't necessarily an attack on us. It's something that they're dealing with. And we need to empathize with them. Now, not condoning sin, declaring it as sin, and inviting them to walk closer with the Lord. Do we consider others? Do we see beyond our own needs and consider others' perspectives? When I encourage somebody that has a different perspective on things, even a different theology than I do, I don't immediately condemn them. I turn the mirror back on myself. Where is it that my theology, my actions are wrong? And I think that gives us a whole different way of looking at people. Very often you'll encounter people that have all sorts of problems. And is it helpful to immediately jump on and say, your problems are X, Y, Z? Well, not necessarily. How do you engage with them so that they can recognize for themselves that they have those problems? And you can help them work through that. How is it that we do that? We can't do that without knowing people. And isn't that discipleship? Let me ask you a great question, and I want you to think about this. Can you disciple somebody that's not a Christian yet? Well, obviously you can. You can pour into people to draw them closer to the Lord. Matter of fact, isn't that evangelism? Isn't that sharing with people in this world? We're all supposed to do the work of an evangelist. Now, it is some people's giftedness, and they naturally evangelize. But that's a gift that we can develop. That's a gift that we can use for the kingdom. Isn't it God's will that everyone would get saved? I mean, that's what the Bible tells us. How are we pouring into that? If we're making it not about ourselves and we're making it about glory given to God through more people who come to Jesus Christ. So for It's Not About You, my name's Pastor Bob Benson. Thank you for taking the time to watch today.